For those of us who play the piano, the ability to open up a score and sit down and be able to read it right away and play it right and make it sound good, that ability is very important, and it's called sight reading. Today, we're going to look at a few things that will make you a good sight reader. Piano music, sometimes when you look at them, like the entire page is black. So how do you recognize all these notes at the same time? You actually don't. You have to recognize patterns and directions more. Reading needs to rely on directions and the patterns. Once you have enough of that, once you change your reading process, that's when you can read really, really, really fast. If you look at this example I am giving you, I first look at the three flats at the very beginning. Don't worry about whether it's major or minor. Once you've started playing, you will know right away. Just get the number of flats or sharps correct. Then I look at the 3/8. So you know each measure is going to have 3 counts, and every eighth note is a count instead of a quarter note. So be sure that you stay on beat no matter what. Even if the notes fail, you need to keep up with that beat consistently. Then, once you begin playing, recognize what is the same. Find everything that is the same. And then look at the changes, how thirds go to fourth, and etc. This next example, we're going to look at a few things that are different. First of all, recognize that your left hand is actually starting in treble clef. See, that's the tricky part. Our hands do change clefs, so make sure you see that as well. After that, we see the B flat and a 3/4 counting that is pretty clear. I know I need to stay on 3 beats per measure. Now, I'm gonna look at my left hand pattern. I see thirds, 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 and they're stepping down one by one, but it's the same pattern. So it becomes very easy to play once you have found where your starting point is. And then I look at my right hand that is jumping octaves, octaves, octaves before I change to bass clef. And I'm going to change back to treble clef in fourth. How do we practice sight reading? That's a really hard one. I think there are two things that's important. Number one is that don't practice things that are easier just to be able to sight read. Let's say your level is, let's just level it with numbers, okay? If you're on level 10, don't practice sight reading at level 5 or level 6 because it doesn't help you. If you're level 10, you need to just sight read the music that's at level 10. You always need to read at the level that you are at, even for beginners. Even if you're a level 1 beginner, you need to sight read every single piece of your music from day 1. It's okay that it's wrong. You just, through learning it, you're going to become better. But never sight read things that are easier than what you can play just to practice sight read, okay? Number 2 is that to play a lot of Bach. Include Bach in your repertoire. Bach, it's very difficult, right? It's impossible, almost impossible to sight read Bach. I just can't sight read Bach. I have to learn it line by line, measure by measure. But I have found that playing a lot of Bach actually makes you an incredible reader and technically brilliant. If you play Bach, you can really find everything that you need to become better in his music. Technically, musically, reading-wise, counting-wise, theory stuff, everything. That is your answer for everything. Just to make this fun, I got the first half of Beethoven sonatas. So the first 16 sonatas are in this book. I don't know most of them. I have not played much out of the first book. So I'm going to flip to a page, just the random page, and I'm going to show you how I can read it. Okay, This is like playing the lottery, but I'm going to show you my sight reading abilities. I'm just going to go ahead and open it. Okay, easy peasy. I open it to the first page of Sonata number 10 or the last page of Sonata number 9. So I will tell you what, let me do the last page of Sonata number 9 because it looks a lot easier than this page. Okay, so first thing I look at, 4 sharps. And I don't even look at the keys until I start playing it, because once you start playing it, you know instantly whether it's major or minor, right? The number of sharps is important. Then you got to see how many counts you have per measure. I know this is a pretty standard 4/4, so boom, 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 okay? And then I'm gonna start right here. That seems like a new section. I'm gonna very briefly look over this to know that my left hand has accompaniments and my right hand is gonna do melodies. So like that, when I start playing, it won't sound too bad. And this will be a very slow tempo. Oh, sorry. Then I'm gonna let it end here. It's actually not too hard. It's just a lot of the rhythm is a bit off because my left hand had triplets and the right hand, it just constantly was falling on the off beat. But I'm sure this sonata is meant to be played a lot faster than what I did.